first Sunday, our entire non-pledge collection that we take here in the service goes towards an organization. And today that recipient is North Dallas Shared Ministries. So I'd like to invite NDSM's Executive Director, Judy Rorrie, up to tell us more about how our gifts will help to support the work that NDSM is doing in our community. Welcome, Judy.
Tell me if this is good. Every year I am grateful for and challenged by the opportunity to be at First Unitarian on the first Sunday in November. What can I say to a congregation of critical thinkers? Numbers might be impressive. The scope and enormity of NDSM may be summed up by saying that last year, NDSM provided services valued at over $5 million to over 65,000 adults and children. This was accomplished through a volunteer staff of 500 and collaborative relationships with entities that place staff and volunteers at NDSM, thereby allowing NDSM to add and expand services without administrative costs. However, so much about numbers this morning. For in thinking about today, it became important that I share with you some representative single events that precariously positioned the lives and well-being of many who are always on the edge. These events and individuals reveal hardships and difficulties that most of us cannot begin to imagine. Robin is a 57-year-old Black woman who nets $1,500 monthly from her job of 9 months. While at an ATM machine, withdrawing $200, then another $200, and finally $260, which she would then have to convert into a $660 money order to pay her rent, she was robbed at gunpoint and assaulted. Anthony is 53. He is disabled. His monthly income is $897. His rent is $750. Because he has been disabled for over 2 years, he is on Medicare. Because his income is so low, he was on a program which paid his Medicare premium and all co-pays and deductibles. Then he received a letter from Social Security that he was no longer on the program and that he had to pay 2 months repay 2 months premium, and that his next Social Security check would be only $639. In May, Sandra had a hysterectomy. Since then, she has returned to her $2,200 a month job of a year and a half, but is playing catch-up. She is grateful for the monthly payment plans that are allowing her to pay off her doctor and hospital bills. Sometimes she cannot buy food. 57-year-old Dorothy is disabled and raising 3 grandchildren, 7, 8, and 11. Recently, 2 more children came to live with her. Her income is $1,130. Very recently, her $650 rent was raised $110 to $760. Maria cried when she told her mental health counselor that she could no longer come for her weekly counseling sessions. She felt safe and loved at NDSM, but she worried that while driving to NDSM, she would be picked up by the police and then deported. Yolanda lived in South Dallas. Last spring, her abusive boyfriend left. She was evicted and sent 2 of her children to live in San Antonio with her mother for the last few weeks of school. Somehow she has managed to move into our area, work intermittently, and find an apartment. The day she came to NDSM, she had first been to truancy court and was fined $182 because her 2 children had not attended DISD schools the last 2 weeks of last year. The $182 must be paid within the next 30 days. Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria evacuees continue to come to NDSM daily. This is when I hope we are all thankful for NDSM, a place of refuge, support, and tangible help. Robin said that she could pay $160 towards her rent from her next paycheck. She did. NDSM paid the balance of $500. Anthony asked only for what he was lacking because of the deduction for his rent. He paid all but $121, and NDSM paid that. NDSM gave Sandra much-needed food and hygiene items. NDSM provided food and rent assistance to Dorothy's family. NDSM comforted Maria. NDSM provided food and hygiene items to Yolanda and her children. To hurricane evacuees, NDSM has provided food, clothing, prescription medication, bus tokens, gas vouchers, school supplies, bus tickets to South Dakota, furniture, apartment rent, motel rent, Payless shoe vouchers, household items and linens, and dental and medical care. Thank you for making all of this possible through your enormous number of volunteer hours and your strong financial support.